I'm Mr. Ron. I'm the children's librarian here at the Princeton Public Library, and welcome to Storytime. We're going to start today with If You're Happy and You Know It. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, then your face will surely show it. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, beep your nose, beep, beep. If you're happy and you know it, beep your nose, beep, beep. If you're happy and you know it, then your face will surely show it. If you're happy and you know it, beep your nose, beep, beep. If you're happy and you know it, slap your knees. If you're happy and you know it, slap your knees. If you're happy and you know it, then your face will surely show it. If you're happy and you know it, slap your knees. If you're happy and you know it, wiggle your ears, wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. If you're happy and you know it, wiggle your ears, wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. If you're happy and you know it, then your face will surely show it. If you're happy and you know it, wiggle your ears, wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. If you're happy and you know it, touch your toes. If you're happy and you know it, touch your toes. If you're happy and you know it, then your face will surely show it. If you're happy and you know it, touch your toes. If you're happy and you know it, pat your head, pat, pat. If you're happy and you know it, pat your head, pat, pat. If you're happy and you know it, then your face will surely show it. If you're happy and you know it, pat your head, pat, pat. If you're happy and you know it, shout hooray, hooray! If you're happy and you know it, shout hooray, hooray! If you're happy and you know it, then your face will surely show it. If you're happy and you know it, shout hooray, hooray! Our theme for today is string and yarn and all things wiggly-liney. And our first story is Extra Yarn by Mac Barnett, and the pictures are by Jon Klassen. Extra Yarn by Mac Barnett, illustrated by Jon Klassen. On a cold afternoon in a cold little town where everywhere you looked was either the white of snow or the black of soot from chimneys, Annabelle found a box filled with yarn of every color. So she went home and knit herself a sweater. And when Annabelle was done, she had some extra yarn. So she knit a sweater for Mars, too. But there was still extra yarn. And when Annabelle and Mars went for a walk, Nate pointed and laughed and said, "You two look ridiculous." "You're just jealous," said Annabelle. "No, I'm not," said Nate. But it turned out he was. And even after she'd made a sweater for Nate and his dog, and for herself and for Mars, she still had extra yarn. At school, Annabelle's classmates could not stop talking about her sweater. "Quiet!" shouted Mr. Norman. "Quiet, everyone! Annabelle, that sweater of yours is a terrible distraction. I cannot teach with everyone turning around to look at you." "Well, then I'll knit one for everyone," Annabelle said, "so they won't have to turn around." "Impossible," said Mr. Norman. "You can't." But it turned out she could, and she did, even for Mr. Norman. And when she was done, Annabelle still had extra yarn. So she knit sweaters for her mom and dad, and for Mr. Pendleton and Mrs. Pendleton, and for Dr. Palmer, and for little Louie. I like that little Louie has an L on his sweater. She made sweaters for everyone except Mr. Crabtree, who never wore sweaters or even long pants, and who would stand in his shorts in the snow up to his knees. "No sweater for me, thanks," said Mr. Crabtree. So she made Mr. Crabtree a hat. And even then, Annabelle still had extra yarn. So she made sweaters for all the dogs and all the cats, and for other animals too. Soon, people thought, soon Annabelle will run out of yarn. But it turned out she didn't. So Annabelle made sweaters for things that didn't even wear sweaters. Like the mailbox, the birdhouse, and the bird, that's one of the animals, and even a house. Things began to change in that little town. Remember, it was only the black of the sooty chimneys and the white of the snow? News spread of this remarkable girl who never ran out of yarn, and people came to visit from around the world to see all the sweaters and to shake Annabelle's hand. One day an archduke who was very fond of clothes sailed across the sea and demanded to see Annabelle.
"Little girl," said the archduke, "I would like to buy that miraculous box of yarn, and I am willing to offer you $1 million.
"No, thank you," said Annabel, who was knitting a sweater for a pickup truck. The Archduke's mustache twitched.
2 million,
he said. Annabel shook her head. "No, thanks."
10 million, shouted the Archduke. Take it or leave it.
"Leave it," said Annabel. "I won't sell the yarn." And she didn't. So that night, the Archduke hired 3 robbers to break into Annabel's house, and they stole the box. What I like about this picture is there were 3 robbers, and they each had to have their own ladder to get into the house to steal the yarn. There's Mars watching the ship sail away. They stole the box and took it to the Archduke, who set off across the snow and sailed over the sea, back to his castle. The Archduke put on his favorite song and sat in his best chair. Then he took out the box, and he lifted its lid, and he looked inside. Can you see what's in the box? There's nothing in the box. His mustache quivered, it shivered, it trembled. The Archduke hurled the box out the window and shouted,
Little girl, I curse you with my family's curse. You will never be happy again.
There's the box on an ice floe. But there it is floating in the big ocean. And look who's found it. It turned out she was. And that is Extra Yarn by Mac Barnett, illustrated by Jon Klassen. We're going to sing some scarf songs, and we'll start with the rainbow song. I'm going to do some magic tricks here. Ready? Red and yellow and pink and green, purple and orange and blue. We can sing a rainbow, sing a rainbow, sing a rainbow too. Listen with your eyes, and sing everything you see. You can sing a rainbow, sing along with me. Red and yellow and pink and green, purple and orange and blue. We can sing a rainbow, sing a rainbow too. And let's do popcorn kernels. Popcorn kernels, in the pot, Shake them, shake them, shake them, shake them, shake them, shake them, till they pop, Popcorn kernels, in the pot, Shake them, shake them, shake them, shake them, shake them, shake them, till they pop, Our second story is Lucy and the String by Vanessa Roeder. Lucy and the String. There we've got our string starting. Lucy found a string, so she gave it a tug. Then, with a tow and a pull and a heave and a yank, a tow, a pull, a heave, and a yank, snarl. Oh my gosh, what do you think Lucy's got? Can you see that foot? What do you think that is? Lucy met Hank. And if you look, Hank had sort of a knit fur pattern, but Lucy's unraveled him. Oops, Lucy gulped. Hank growled. I'm sorry. Hank huffed. I know what will cheer you up. And the yarn's making a light bulb because she has an idea. Lucy tried something brawny. Hank's not very impressed. And brainy, like Albert Einstein. Frilly. Hank really doesn't like that. And silly. Hank sticking out his tongue. Honest. Like Abe Lincoln. Hank's scared of that one. And sly. Like a fox. But Hank wasn't pleased. He just wanted pants. Oh no, don't go. After a dash and a spin and a twist and a turn, so she yanks it again and spins Hank around. Voila! Hank wasn't impressed. Those aren't pants, it's just string wound around. Lucy wasn't giving up. Lasso and loop, tether and tie, yeehaw! Oh, she made chaps. But look, there's nothing on the back of them. But Hank was still a bear. Lucy's next design was completely divine. It unfurled and twirled and whirled and swirled. Hooray! Oh no, she made a tutu. But ballet didn't suit Hank. Then, Eureka! Do you know what Eureka means? It's Greek for I have found it. Lucy had the solution. Knit one and purl two, weave in and weave out. Oh, look what she's made. Ta-da! This fix was just right. So Lucy made a sweater for herself so she can give her skirt to Hank. Oh, and they're both so happy they're dancing. And with one final step, snip! Lucy and Hank were no longer attached. Oh no. Lucy seems a little sad. Hank seems a little sad. Until Lucy tugged at the string, and with a heave and a yank, the tangle of string, uh-oh, Hank lost his top half. Tied Lucy to Hank. Oh, and look at that, she made hats and a scarf to join them together, and she's taught Hank how to knit. There's Hank trying on all those wig combinations that Lucy made for him. Lucy and the string. Sometimes you find a friend, sometimes a friend finds you. Here's how to make string pole art. So we're going to use black cardstock, and I have 8.5 by 11 cardstock that I've cut in half. You could also fold it in half. I think that would work either way, but you're going to use 2 pieces to sandwich your string. So then take a paper plate and just craft paint. You can get this at the dollar store. And you're going to make kind of a long snake, and you want to make sure each bead of paint kind of connects like a little snake trail. And then I've got a 12-inch piece of, I'm going to try string first, but then I'm going to also use yarn. And just press your string into your little trail of paint. And you're going to want to leave one end kind of unpainted. And then I'm just using a stir stick from the library cafe. Just kind of push it down, kind of cover it up. It's nice and covered. And then we're going to take our 2 pieces of paper, I'll actually take 1 piece of paper, and we're going to just curl our paint up on it. You want at least 1 loop. And then the other piece of paper on top. I should have had this sticking off the end, but I didn't get there. Now, the instructions I read recommended using something like a Kleenex box. You're going to get paint on it, so you want something that, you know, is out of the trash or out of the recycling bin. But you take your Kleenex box, and you don't want to press too hard, but just enough to kind of keep your paper together. And you just pull your string out. And then let's see what we've gotten. Cool. So if you have a loop, you kind of get this lily flower looking. Let's try another one and see. I'm just going to try to do, I'll just do back and forth. Box. And that time I tried it going really fast. We'll see if that makes a difference. Ooh, that was a cool one. I'm glad you came to Storytime today. I hope you've enjoyed our string stories, and maybe you'll try to do some string art this week. Maybe not with paint. You could also use string for sculpture or macrame if you want to look that up, and maybe try some different string tying techniques. Maybe you'll even try to learn how to knit or crochet this week. That would be a really big challenge, but I bet you could figure it out. I hope you'll stop back and join us next week, but until then, be safe and have fun. Bye-bye.